goes down, everybody? Walker Dead here, back again with another episode for you guys. This is Season 1, Episode 2 of my Future Flash series, titled Birth of a New Hero. Thank you all so much for the love and support. I really do appreciate it, and as always, let's get into this episode now, shall we? The episode begins with a woman named Simon Stagg enters this gun store, and she's like talking with the owner, and the owner's like, "Hey, ma'am, what can I get you today?" Simon Stagg's like, "I need a weapon. Someone's trying to kill me." The man's like, "What? Ma'am, listen. There's a job for CCPD Police Department. I can't help you." And this man enters the store and he just straight up says, "Yes, he's right. He can't help you." The owner's like, "Sir, I'm going to ask you to leave." "Sir?" Oh shit. This man takes out his gun, and as this man is like running, he just collapses to the floor after being shot multiple times through his body as mad blood is on the floor. Simon Stagg sees this and she just runs out the emergency exit. This guy grabs his gun and he just shoots the camera as the opening logo pans out. As the opening shot is panning out, we hear Barry's voice in the background, and he's like, "Alright, I know I'm supposed to do the whole intro thing, introducing myself, fastest man alive, blah, blah. Anyway, you guys all know that. See that smoke in the background there? That is a burning building in downtown Central City. Me? I'm just running towards it. I am running in a capacity of 352 miles per hour. And let's just say it's a slow day. But nothing I can't handle. I just started, and this new ability I got is just amazing." His shot's panning out. We see Barry. He goes in the burning building, and he just saves all of the kids as he just runs away. Cisco and Caitlin are like, "Good work, Barry." Barry's like, "Why, thank you." As he stops for a minute, he gets this feeling of dizziness, and it looks like he's about to pass out, but he picks himself back up, and he just heads back to Star Labs. He tells Caitlin and Cisco what's been going on, that he's been feeling these dizziness in him, and he feels like he's about to pass out. Caitlin just has him sit down at the table, and he takes a look at Barry, and Caitlin's like, "It looks like from these radiations here, and from here on my tablet, looks like you haven't been drinking a lot of water lately." Barry's like, "Don't worry. I'll pick up a water bottle on my way to work." Barry gets a call from Joe, and Barry's like, "Hey, Joe. How's everything?" Joe says, "Oh, everything's great. I got a dead body, some witnesses. Well, a witness. And, some fresh, little things here. But that's not the point. There's one thing missing. And can you guess what that is?" Barry says, "I'll be right there," as he runs over there. Dr. Wells like, wait until he realizes he didn't take his clothes. As Barry is outside of the area, he runs in real quick and just gets a coat, and he just grabs this, also buys this double bag, and he just puts the suit in a double bag, and he just hides the double bag right next to this big trash can, and he just heads to the crime scene. As he enters the area, Barry says to Captain Singh and Joe, like, "Hey, my bad, I'm late. Traffic, ridiculous." Captain Singh's like, "You doing some last minute shopping, Mr. Allen?" Barry's like, "Oh, my bad. Like I said, traffic. Anyway, thank God I'm here now." Joe hands Barry the clubs as Barry enters the crime scene, and he's like going around, looking around, and that's when Eddie comes in, and he's like, I just went over the surveillance footage, and it says, as you can see right here, there's one perp as he grabs his pistol and shoots it at the camera. Barry's like, nah, there has to be a mistake. From these footprints right here, it looks like they're all piled on top of each other, like the killer was in two places at the same time. Something doesn't add up. The next shot is Barry at CCPD. He's like going over the sample. Patty comes in the room and she's like, "What do you got, Mr. Allen?" Barry's like, "I got some DNA analysis from the crime scene today, and I'm trying to put in this small machine, but unfortunately for me, the stupid machine doesn't want to work." Patty's like, "You want me to call IT to come in and take a look?" Barry says, "No, I'll see what's the issue." Patty says, "Here, just hoping coffee. I'll be right back. I go use the woman's restroom." Barry says, "Yeah, sure, go do what you gotta do." Patty says, "Thanks." As Patty leaves the room, that's when Barry grabs the sample with the bottle DNA analysis thing, and he just shakes it by using his speed to shake it until it is good. The next shot, Joe is talking with the witness. He is talking with Sapphire Stagg, and she's like, "Detective, this person tried to kill me." Joe is like, "Is that why you were at the gun store? You were trying to purchase a gun to defend yourself against this person trying to kill you? If you knew that, why didn't you call the police?" This guy is dangerous, detective. He was harassing me over the phone. He left me creepy voicemail messages saying, "Oh, you're gonna die. Your father is a fraud. He's a fake." I don't know what to do. I didn't know what to do. Okay, detective, I didn't know what to do. And Sapphire Stagg just walks away, leaving the CCPD police department. Patty comes back in the room, and Patty's like, "You okay?" Barry says, "Yeah, I'm fine. After being in a coma for so long, I had no idea it's 11 months went by." And Patty's like, "You tried Colaris?" Barry's like, "Yeah." Patty's like, "How come you never mentioned her all that much?" Barry says, "Well, when we were kids, we were never all that close. I remember being like 12 or 13 years old, and I was always crushing on her when I was a kid. But unfortunately, those days are gone, and there's nothing I can do about that. Just like there's nothing I can do about what right now. There's nothing I can do about her being married to somebody." Patty says, "I'm sorry." Barry says, Don't worry about it. I know it's stupid talking about it, but it's better not to say anything. Sometimes it's better not to say anything at all, and sometimes you just gotta leave some things alone." Patty's like, "I know something that'll make you feel a lot better." Barry's like, "What's that?" Patty's like, "Simon Stagg is hosting a press hearing this evening. You want to go? Considering how much you like science and everything." Barry's like, "Sure, why not?" As Barry and Patty walk out the building, they're like, rumor has it that he's receiving a reward. Barry's like, "Oh, really?" The next shot pans out where we see Simon stacking trees in the background. As we hear clapping, we also see this first shot of Simon Stagg, and Simon Stagg is receiving this award. And Simon Stagg's like, "Thank you, everyone. Thank you. It is remarkable and nice to be reminded that as I was once a freshman in high school at Central City College, I would like to thank my daughter for this wonderful achievement as well, and I would like to thank all of you guys at home and all of you people that came here today. It was for all of you. My research in organ transplant would never been so successful. But anyway, thank you all so much for the award. God bless you all, and have a fantastic rest of your day. Thank you very much. Why don't note this? As everyone is clapping. As the next shot is panning out, Barry sees a familiar face, and he sees Linda Park. Linda's like, holy shit, Barry Allen. Barry's like, Linda? Patty's like, you two know each other? And Barry's like, yeah, Linda was one of my best friends at Central City High School. My God, how long has it been? Linda's like, a very, very long time. How are you? Barry's like, yeah, everything's been alright. And Linda's like, oh, I almost forgot. You were in a coma. Barry says, yeah, unfortunately. But thank God I'm better now. Patty says, I'll give you two room to talk as Patty walks away, feeling just a little jealous. The next shot is Barry talking with Linda, and Barry's like, so how's life after high school? What do you do nowadays? Linda says, not much, just trying to find another job. I want to become a reporter. But Barry, get this. Look, all these news articles around Central City saying and talking about something impossible around Central City. Something crazy is going on. Before Barry can say anything, Linda's like, oh, Mr. Stagg, hey, is there any chance I could get a quick interview with you? It's from an article. Simon Stagg said security's like, not now, miss, as they both just walk away. Linda's like, I'll make something up. As Simon Stagg's head of security goes in the car, before Simon Stagg can go into the car, however, he sees his daughter, and Sapphire Stagg's like, Dad. Simon Stagg's like, oh my dear Lord, I saw the news, are you okay? Sapphire Stagg's like, no, some person is trying to kill me. Is there any way I can, I don't know, stick around with you for a while until this whole matter gets resolved? Simon Stagg says no. Sapphire says, but Dad, this person is trying to kill me. Simon Stagg says, then go to the police. Sapphire Stagg's like, I went to the police. It sounds like they don't want to help me as much as you don't want to help me either, huh? As Sapphire Stagg starts walking away, Simon's like, kiddo, wait. Sapphire Scream says, no. When I was a kid, I loved you. You were my hero. Now I just see you're being an obnoxious jerk. If only Mom could see you now. As Sapphire Stagg just walks away. As Sapphire Stagg enters the ballroom, she drinks a glass of wine and she begins to cry a little bit. But then that's where she hears gunshots, as well as Patty, Linda, and Barry do. They also hear gunshots as well as this man, the hooded man we saw from the beginning of the episode, he's shooting off his gun and he's like, ah, look at you all. You all fine people are wearing your nice fancy jewelry. How convenient, because it's almost like you all knew we were coming to rob you. How convenient. The next shot is this man taking all the jewelry, as well as his other people there too. Linda's like, Barry, don't. And but then that's where this man turns around and he's like, Sapphire Stagg. How's your old man doing? Most importantly, where is he? As Sapphire Stagg screams, says the man who tried to fucking kill me. This man says, you know, I wonder if your father would even miss you. As this hooded man and all of his other dogs around him grab their guns and open fire, Barry just in the moment he saves Sapphire Stagg by using his powers to take her outside. As Sapphire Stagg's as she's like turning around, she sees all this lightning and she's like, holy shit. As the hooded man hears police sirens, him and all of his goons, they go into his truck and they just drive away. As Barry's trying to get the plate, he faints, meaning he just passed out on the ground. The next shot is panning out where we hear Patty's voice, and Patty's like, Barry, wake up. As Barry wakes up and he gets up and he's like, what happened? Patty's like, you faded on the ground. I turned around and you were just gone. Bear's like, yeah, I'm sorry. I came outside to see if I can get the plates. But I faded. Patty says, it's okay. Come on. Let's get inside. As Barry and Patty come back inside the dining hall, they see Eddie and Joe. Joe's like, where were you? Patty's like, going easy on him, Joe. He faded outside. As the next shot's panning out, we see Sapphire Stagg talking with the police, and she's like, it just happened so fast. 1 minute, I'm there in the dining hall. These psychopaths grab their weapons, start firing at me, and then next thing I knew, I was outside, and I saw like mad lightning all around me. It was like, I don't know. It was like it was like magic in a weird way. Like, wow. And I had absolutely no clue as to how I got there. Joe's like, me and you gotta talk right now. The next shot is Joe talking with Barry, and Joe's like, Barry, you tried to chase those gunmen, didn't you? Barry's like, yeah. Listen, I couldn't just stand by and watch those thugs just gun down that woman like that. Joe's like, Barry, listen, not to sound like a broken record, but you may have these new abilities, but at the end of the day, you're not bulletproof, Bear. Wait, are you bulletproof? While running at the speed of light? Bear's like, no, but Joe's like, anyway, not to sound like a broken record, but you're not a cop, alright? That's my job. You have a job. Please, just get back to it. Bear's like, okay. The next shot is back at Star Labs. Caitlin is pissed at Barry at the fact that he didn't tell the team about him fading. Barry says, listen, Caitlin, I'm sorry, alright? I just got busy with other things. I just forgot to tell you. Caitlin's like, that's not the point. The point is, if you would have told us sooner, I would have helped you immediately. Instead, you just kept your mouth shut. Yeah. Anyway. As Caitlin just walks away, pissed off. Cisco jokes and says, damn, I haven't seen her that upset since Ronnie. Bear's like, Ronnie? Caitlin's fiance that died during the particle accelerator explosion? Dr. Wells says, yeah. But he's missed. The next shot is Barry in the laboratory room of Star Labs, and Cisco says if you fall on the treadmill while running, these boxes here, or, here to ease your fall a little bit. As Cisco goes into the other side of the booth of the laboratory room, Star Labs. He enters that room with Caitlin, Dr. Wells, and Cisco's like, you see that Cosmic treadmill right there? It has the horsepower to basically hold you and your speed around running. Don't worry, it's been Cisco'd. You got this, Barry. Barry's like, are you sure about this, Cisco? Cisco's like, absolutely. Just start running on the treadmill, start focusing where you want to go, and you should be good to go from there. You know, here's hoping. Caitlin says, the vitals right here are sparking a little bit, but most of it's pretty much normal. Cisco laughs and he's like, yeah, I knew the treadmill could take its speed. Dr. Wells is like, wait, you see those course levels right there in the middle? And Dr. Snow's like, yes, of course. Dr. Wells is like, Barry, we know why you've been as Barry falls to the floor as there's Matt Puff all over the laboratory room. As Dr. Wells says, why you've been passing out. The next shot is a flashback. Barry is at the CCPD police department. Iris comes in the room and she's like, okay, Barry, what does he have to show me? Barry shows Iris the board of all the evidence he's collected over the years following his mom's murder. Iris is like, Barry, we've talked about this. Barry says, yeah, I know, I'm just trying to show you. Listen, there's another man that night, Iris. My dad was wrongfully convicted. How can you not understand that? Iris screams, saying, because I know your dad is guilty, Barry. I'm sorry, but he is. Barry screams, he is not guilty, Iris. He is not guilty. I know what I saw, and if you don't believe me, at least be a little understanding as to what I'm trying to show you. Barry just cools off a little bit, and he's like, I didn't mean that. Iris says, nah, you do all the investigating you want, Barry Allen. We may have not been close when we were kids, but what you believe in is something I can't believe in, Barry. I'm sorry, but I can't. Have a nice rest of your day, Barry. As Iris just walks away. As flashback ends, we see the next shot panning out where Barry wakes up. As Barry wakes up, Barry's like, I passed out again? Caitlin says, yeah. By Crucemia. Meaning you haven't been eating enough. Barry's like, I just need to improve in my eating habits and I'm pretty much good to go. Cisco shows Barry all of the water things he have drunken while sleeping, and Dr. Wells comes in, and that's where he says, trust Mr. Allen, you were thirsty. Then that's where Caitlin's like, we're gonna have to come up with a new diet for you based on your meta changes. Then Cisco's like, I did the calculations, and from one of my calculations, it may be incorrect, but from what I theorize, you might have to eat a total of 150 tacos. As Barry laughs. Barry's like, no, I wasn't saying that as a joke. I was being serious. Barry's like, oh. And then that's where Joe comes in, and he says, for Mexican, I prefer Tito's. One of the best tacos in the city. That's what's like, detective. What brings you to Star Labs? Joe's like, when I couldn't find you in your workplace, I started doing some research, and from what I've seen and read some articles about some red streak running around saving people from burning buildings. And then that's where Dr. Wells is like, so, hold up. You didn't tell him we were working together. As Barry says, no. That's when Barry says, listen, Joe, I can explain. Joe says, listen, you already have a job in law enforcement, Barry. If I were you, I would consider getting back to it. And that's where Dr. Wells comes in. He's like, listen, detective, listen, we all want what's best for Barry. That's where Joe screams, listen, if you all wanted what was best for Barry, you all would have talked him out of it instead of having him out there risking his life. Then that's where Barry gets into the conversation. He says, Joe, listen, you saw a man who had the metahuman ability to control the weather. What are the police going to do something against someone like that? Then that's where Barry's like, ever since the accelerated explosion, we suspected that there's others like him. That's where Joe's like, and what are you going to do? Catch him? Are you insane? You think that you can run so fast that you're invincible? Well, guess what? You're not. At the end of the day, you're still just a kid. My kid. That's when Barry screams, I'm not your kid, Joe. And you're not my father. My father is in Iron Heights, wrongfully convicted. And yeah, you were wrong about him. And you're wrong about this. Now, I may not be able to save that person from that gun store, but if I can save some people from a burning building, then yeah, I'm gonna do it. And you can't stop me. So don't try. Joe says, you think you're so smart. All of you. But at the end of the day, you don't know what you don't know. And I hope you're smart enough to figure it out sooner before someone gets hurt. The next shot is the next day. It's back at the CCCPD police department. Barry's go over some analysis with Patty, and that's when Joe comes in, and he's like, Simon Stagg said security was murdered last night. His body was found dead. However, the deceiver was able to find some DNA samples. Here's hoping you and Patty can find a match. I'm on my way to interview Simon Stagg now. Barry's like, I can come with you. Joe's like, no, your job is here. Just please stay here and do it. And Joe walks away. Patty's like, what was that all about? Barry's like, he's just mad at me over work stuff. The next shot is Eddie and Joe talking with Simon Stagg, and that's when Simon Stagg's like, come on, you two really think that there's someone out there trying to kill me? And he's like, we're not sure yet, Mr. Stagg, but from what we heard, someone tried to assassinate your daughter at your press hearing this evening. Meaning someone tried to literally kill her. And then that's where Joe comes in the conversation and is like, yeah, and your head of security was also found dead this morning. Guys, listen. I'm a scientist and a philanthropist. There's normally no side of any assassins, if you will. And Joe then says, well, what about lawsuits? You also have like 20 of those penned over against you. Yeah, well, when you're at that time of a life where you have your own company and so much money, people who don't have that think it's okay to take yours. Then Joe says, like this guy, for example, Dalton Black. You fired him and now he's, trying to sue you? Simon Stagg says, Dalton Black, a former employee of mine. But I can assure you people of one thing. Dalton Black is not the killer. Now, if there's anything else I can do to help you people catch this pervert, please let me know. I want these people catch as much as you do. And Dalton Black, who was revealed to be this guy in the mask, he then screams, well, here we are! As they start firing at Joe, Eddie, and Simon. As they get to cover, Joe tries to take out his gun and fire back, but then that's where he notices that there are so many shots fired all at once. As Dalton Black collapses onto the ground and onto this pile of boxes. Joe notices something that catches his attention. He sees that Dalton Black just used his metahuman ability to literally clone himself. Joe's like, holy shit. as this clone of Dalton Black picks up the gun, and they all just start aiming their guns up and getting ready to fire. But then that's when Barry comes, takes the guns and drops them on the floor. Joe's like, "Get out of here." Joe's like, "No," as Joe gets, that's when Barry gets Joe's safety. As Eddie and Simon Stagg are running, he sees Barry, and he sees Barry's like punching these two people down as they both fall to the floor. Barry looks at this guy. He looks at Dantum, and he's like, "Why are you trying to kill Simon Stagg?" Dalton Black's like, "Oh, little do you know." He begins kicking this one clone as he punches the other in the face, and he just uses his speed to punch Dalton Black through the chest. But then that's where all these, like, he duplicates himself, and two other clones of himself just pop out. Barry's like, "What the fuck?" As Dalton Black punches Barry in the face, and this other clone of Dalton just grabs him by the head and just throws him onto his barrel, and they all grab their guns, and it looks like they're about to kill Barry, but then that's when Barry uses his super speed and gets out of the building. He's like, the next shot is back at Star Labs. Caitlin is treating Barry's injuries. Barry's like, Caitlin's like, "Sorry, just your injuries needs time to heal." Barry's like, "Yeah, I just got my ass handed to me." Cisco says, "You got blood on my suit." As Barry says, "Yeah, I'm pretty sure some of it belongs to him." Yeah, another not so friendly metahuman. I don't know, he said his name. I overheard Joe and Simon talking. They said this guy's name is Dalton Black. That's what it says, Dalton Black. Former biogeneticist, research in cloning, meaning to make new organs to replace failing ones. That's where Caitlin jumps in the conversation, and she says, "Rumor has it that," which seems likely, that Simon Stagg stole his research and then fired him. And that's when Barry says, "I saw Black. He somehow made duplicates of himself from his own body." Cisco says that's ironic. His work was in cloning, and now he has the management ability to make different versions of himself. Dr. Wells says, well, if he was experimenting on himself, then he must have been affected by the particle accelerator explosion that gave him this ability to literally clone himself. That's where Cisco interrupts by saying, "Meet Captain Clone." As Barry and Dr. Wells look at him, and Cisco's like, "Oh, don't worry, I'll come up with a better name for him." That's when Barry's like, "I don't know, guys. I may be fast, but I'm no invincible person, alright? There's no way I can do this." Dr. Wells says, "What are you saying?" Barry says, "This was a mistake," as he just runs away. As Barry is running, we see another flashback with him as a little kid at Iron Heights prison, and the guard comes in with Harry Allen, and that's where we get this younger version of Barry Allen. He's like, "Dad," and the guard's like, "Hey, sorry, no physical contact." Henry's like, "Sit down, son." "Barry, how'd you get here?" Barry, in the younger version of Barry says, "I ran here. Joe wouldn't bring me. He won't let me see you. I hate him." Henry Allen says, No, hey, Barry, don't say that. Listen, it's not that Joe doesn't want you to come here. I don't want you to come here. I don't want you to see me like this." The younger version of Barry's like talking to the guard, and he's like, "You have to let him go. My dad didn't kill my mom. My mom didn't do these things. It was the Lightning Man. The Lightning Man killed my mom, not my dad," as Henry Allen screams, "Barry! Listen, you can't help me. No. Detective Joe West is gonna watch over you until I get out of here, but until then, be the good boy that me and my mom, well, not my mom, but well, that me and your mother know that you are. As Henry Allen kisses Barry on the cheek, and they just escort Henry Allen back to his cell. As his younger version Barry's like, Dad. As the flashback ends, Barry just stops running and just begins to scream. The next shot pans out where we see Joe talking with Simon Stagg, and Joe's like, listen, Mr. Stagg, he has Dalton Black, he has these, friends, and they're willing to kill. Meaning they're all dangerous. Simon Stagg says, don't worry, I've increased my security, detective. And I hope Dalton Black comes looking for trouble, because he'll find plenty. And then that's where we see Dr. Wells, he's clapping, he's like... spoken like a true philanthropist. Then again, I keep forgetting which one it is you're trying to be, Simon. Simon Stagg says, Harrison, don't get up. As Dr. Wells like, ha ha, as Simon Stagg just leaves. Dr. Wells like, can we talk, detective? Joe's like, you were right. Barry's not the only one that's special. Dr. Wells says, no, not at all. When you have many humans running around, of course, nothing is entirely normal now, is it? Joe then interrupts Dr. Wells, and he's like, when Barry was in his coma, you came to the hospital, and you asked me to take him to Star Labs. Did you know what he can do? Dr. Wells says, well, I had my theories. He was affected. Dr. Wells then interrupts Joe, and he's like, listen, I know you don't see it yet, but Joe, listen, you and I, like people like me and you, this police force, we're the only ones equipped to protecting Central City. Joe then says, maybe I'm more interested in protecting Barry. And besides, maybe if he doesn't stop doing what he's doing, he'll just fall into the fire lying around with you. Dr. Wells says, no, he's not, because he quit. Did he tell you? Joe says, I haven't seen him. Dr. Wells says, well, I'm pretty sure it's only temporary. But once someone is in danger, Barry's like, well, most likely in his mind, puts on the suit and then running straight into danger. But what I'm really trying to say is, as long as you're continuing to doubt him, he won't be able to do what he has to do as a grown up, now does he? And Joe, for the record, I care about him too. As the next shot pans out, we see Barry walking down the sidewalk. He gets a phone call from Caitlin, and he picks it up, and he's like, listen, I already told you guys I'm through. Caitlin's like, yeah, I know, but listen, you need to get to Star Labs right now. As they see a clone version of Dalton Black. As Barry runs over to Star Labs, Caitlin's like, it's okay. Barry's like, no, it's not okay. Dalton Black is here in Star Labs, and he just standing there. Why is he not moving? Wait, it's not him. Caitlin says no. Next shot pans out where Caitlin's explaining to Barry, I took a sample of Dalton Black's blood from your suit, and it looks like it's replicating into different parts, like blood cells, but it's like only this time it's like multiplying into multiple, not just one. But my theory is this is how Black multiplies. This is how he uses his powers to multiply into different versions of himself. Barry's like, well, if that's the case, why is he not doing anything? Dr. Wells says, well, we did a brain scan, and it looks like it only responds to if the body's moving. Like, you know how the mind, how it moves when the body activates. That's why it's not moving the way it is. Meaning, Caitlin's like, meaning if you were to find other Well, maybe not other, but if you find the real Dalton Black, but if you do find real Dalton Black, look for the one that's showing emotion like sadness or sweat. He's the prime. As Dr. Wells says, that's something you might want to put to the test, Mr. Allen. Cisco then says, plus, if you're going to go against Dalton Black, you also need to keep your energy up. I made this protein bar in order for you, and for your energy inside your cells to, get energized. As Barry smiles. As the clone version of Dalton Black starts moving, Joe comes in the room and he just straight up kills the clone. And Barry screams at Dr. Wells, asking him, why did it start moving? Dr. Wells says, because Dalton Black's on the move, meaning he might be heading over to Stagg Industries to assassinate Simon Stagg himself. Joe says, agreed. If he's heading over to Stagg Industries, he might be over there, headed over there to assassinate him tonight. Barry says, if that's the case, then you should call it in. Joe's like, listen, you were right. The police can't fight this. It's impossible. Beyond them. Maybe even beyond them too. But the only one it's not beyond is you. You gotta do this. Now for once, do what I tell you to do. And go stop him. As Joe and Barry both smile. As Barry's looking at the suit, he puts it on, and then we see this next shot panning out where we see Stagg Industries. As we see all these clones coming up the excavator, security guards are like, freeze, and then that's where we hear gunshots in the background, and then that's when Simon Stagg comes out of his office, and he's like, looking at Dalton Black, he's like, hello, Dalton, and Dalton's like, goodbye, Simon, and then that's when Flash comes out of nowhere and saves Simon Stagg by taking him back to his office. Barry / the Flash says, stay here, as Barry runs off, and Simon Stagg's like, holy smokes. As Barry heads to the main lobby, he screams, saying, listen, I know Stagg stole your research, but that does not give you the right to murder. As all these clones start firing at Barry, he dodges all the attacks. And as Phantom says, you think this is about my job? No, it's about Elizabeth. She was my wife. She was dying from lung disease through her heart. And then that's when I thought, if I couldn't find a proper donor, then that's when Barry says, you were going to grow her one. As Barry runs off around the lobby, Phantom screams, I was so close until Simon Stagg stole my research so he could reap the glory. And then that's when I buried my wife, my best friend. Now, I'm alone because of him. As Barry turns around, he sees the real Dalton Black as he creates all of these clones of himself, and they're running to Barry, and they just tackle Barry to the ground as they are just punching him and punching him and punching him. Barry gets free as he runs, and he's like, ah! And he's like, tired, and he's like, I can't do it. There's too many of them to fight. And that's when Dr. was like, Barry, isolate the prime. That's when Barry's like, listen, I can't, alright? It's impossible. And then that's when Joe's like, listen, nothing's impossible, Barry. You taught me that. You can do this. And that's when Dr. Wells says, listen, I believe in you. As all the clones of Dalton Black start running towards Barry, that's when Barry screams, and he just runs as fast as he can, knocking out some of these clones, and he's just running, and then that's where he sees the real Dalton Black sweating, and he just grabs him, and he just tackles him down, as Dalton Black falls to the ground, knocked out, and Barry's like, we got him. It's done. As Joe and everyone else of Team Flash start smiling. And then we see this clone, and then we see the real Dalton Black get up. He's trying to attack Barry, but then that's where Barry dodges the attack. Dalton Black just falls out the window as Barry runs and grabs Dalton Black by his hand. And Barry's like, hold on. And Dalton Black's like, never. No. Not gonna happen. Barry's like, don't. As Dalton Black supposedly falls to his death. The next shot, it's back at Star Labs. We see the shot of Team Flash looking at the news, saying Dalton Black dead. And that's when Barry's like telling Dr. Wells, listen, I tried to save him. Dr. Wells says maybe he didn't want to be saved. Some people, when they're broken, they can't be put back together again. Barry says some people can. Dr. Wells says, well, I hope so. As Barry's about to leave, that's when Siska's like, well, at least Mr. Army won't be with her and anybody else. Told you I'll come up with a cool name for him. As Barry laughs. Barry then says, when I'm out there saving lives, making a difference, doing all the running with you guys helping me out, I finally realized something. We were all struck by that lightning. As everyone smiled, and Barry just walks away. Next shot's back at the CCPD, and Joe brings him pizza, and he's like, you're hungry? Barry's like, yeah, I'm starving. Joe then says, look, jalapenos, olives, just how you like them. Barry says, thanks. Joe then says, you were wrong before. You said one of the reasons you were out there is because you were trying to help your dad. As he pulls up the thing, and then that's when Joe's like, listen, you can help him. We can. Together. Yeah, that's right. We're going to figure out as to who or what killed your father. Together. You and me. Barry then says, listen, Joe, about what I said before about you not being my dad. Joe's like, Barry, I know you're not your dad. Barry's like, yeah, you're right, you're not. You're just a man that kept me fed and safe. You also came in the room when I was younger, check on my bed in case there's no monsters under them. You taught me how to drive, how to brush my teeth, how to shave, do my body when I had a mustache, drove me to college, helped me with my homework. Yeah, sounds a lot like a dad to me. As Joe looks happy, and he just sits down eating pizza with Barry like son and adoptive father. And then that's when Barry's like, everyone dreams being a superhero, having power, saving people, but no kid knows or understands what it's like when you do have the power of saving people. And then that's when Caitlin's like, Barry, an armed robbery is happening downtown in Central City. Get your ass over there. Barry's like, I'm on it. And then that's when Barry's like, actually, the best part is this, as he just runs away. As the opening intro opens up, we see this post-credit scene of Simon Stagg. He's in his office. He gets off the phone. He turns around and sees his daughter, Sapphire Stagg, standing right there. And that's when Simon's like, kiddo, who in the world let you in here? And Sapphire Stagg's like, you having a party outside? Simon Stagg's like, I don't know if you saw the news, but a former employee of mine tried to kill me. Just like they tried to kill you. Sapphire Stagg's like, yeah, but a former employee with the ability to duplicate himself into multiple versions, facing off against a person who can run at the height of super speed. Simon Stagg's like, you've seen him too, haven't you? Sapphire Stagg says, yes, I have. Simon Stagg says, extraordinary. Just the power he possesses, like the gods of old, like Mercury on Earth. If you can imagine, if you could have his power, that you could do so much, that you can change what it means to be human. The man in a red mask is the key, and I'm gonna get him. Sapphire Stagg says, well, if we're gonna get him, Here's a potential candidate that could help us. I reached out to a friend of mine. He was able to help me obtain this file from the CCPD Police Department. And who knows, maybe this man is the key to finding the man in the red mask. As the next shot pans out with the file, we see the name of the file and it says Barry Allen. And boom, that is the end of the episode. Here's hoping you guys enjoyed. Stay tuned for the next episode for season 1, episode 3, titled Lines We Don't Cross, coming hopefully next week. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, peace.